So there's a science behind who we are attracted to. And, like, if you think about it, like, from an evolutionary perspective, like, back in the, caveman era, like, women actually only have, like, 500 eggs in their whole lifetime. We have to do, like, 9 months of pregnancy, like, 2 to 4 years of breastfeeding. So when you think about it, women have a lot more to invest when they're having a kid to reproduce. And so that's why we are choosier.
Which is why, like, translating this to modern day, which is why, like, women tend to be the more, like, naturally monogamous, because, like, we literally cannot just jump from partner to partner, because we do need that 9 months, and, like, even just the before and after, like, after pregnancy, you need to spend time with the kid and, like, the dad and stuff, whereas men have billions of sperm, so they can be less choosy because they don't have to invest time into that person to raise the kid.
There's a lot less investment that men have to do. And that explains why, like, people are like, well, women are so choosy. And I'm like, evolutionarily, like, we had to be at 500 eggs versus 500 billion sperm.
Exactly.
Like, look at the ratio,
Look at the ratio. And so, like, men can literally just go plant their seed, if we will, and, like, literally, just produce as many offspring as they can. They could plant,
everywhere, right? And
they could get 5 girls pregnant in a week.
Oh my god.
If you think about it.
Yeah,
like,
women could never do that.
Women could never do that. So I think that's why today, like, well, evolutionary wise, like, men do have a harder time sticking to one person, because, like, in the past, that's what they did.
Yeah.
I think. Because they were just thinking, like, okay, we need to grow the community, we need to grow the population, because, it was like the hunter-gatherer societies. Like, the more people to hunt and, like, gather, the more prosperous the society. So I think that's why.
Yeah, but also, like, people would look for partners. Like, they needed a partner who would help them solve problems.
That's
so, like,
true.
women had the problem of, like, if women are bearing children, like, who's going to be hunting and bringing, like, the food? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they needed somebody who would invest in the kids and stay for the survival of the children. Like, the whole point of evolution was to reproduce, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I remember reading, like, we learned this in psychology. This is why women wanted someone older. Evolutionarily, we were attracted to people older literally just because they were more stable. Yep. They had more experience. They could probably, like, bring more food to feed your infant when you think about it.
Exactly. And just also just maturity as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I think they have that, like, head of household mentality already, like, at an older age, where they're ready to provide. Like, they've been doing this, waiting their whole lives for this. Like, so yeah, I think it's that experience. It's also, like, just the physical labor, like, being able to.
And that's why I think that's why, if you think about it now, like, we're attracted to muscles, not a body, but like.
Generally, like, even just the, like, in society, like, when you look in commercials and stuff, like, it's usually a muscular man. Like, that is attractive. And it's because, like, evolutionary, like, we are wired to think that's attractive, because they would be able to, like, lift things, chop wood, I don't know, kill animals. Do whatever they need.
As a little skinny person, like, probably wouldn't be, like, evolutionarily adaptive. Like, they wouldn't be able to probably bring food home as much for the children to survive.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, we're attracted to older, I think more mature, physically bigger.
Yeah. And then.
I don't know if there's anything else. But I think men, on the other hand, like, we'll talk about men too.
Yeah, men too.
Don't worry.
They're definitely, like, evolutionary wise, they are attracted to younger women because they're more fertile. There's more time for them to give birth.
And more kids.
Less chance of complications as well because you're younger. And then another big thing was also, like, the waist-hip ratio. We learned this in class. Like, with the hourglass body or whatever, like, men are attracted to that because evolutionary-wise, that shows that you can bear children. Mm-hmm. You're going to have... There's more chance of you having a, like, easier...
being easier birth, and not dying from birth.
Because remember, back in the day, they didn't have the medical supplies that we have today. So they needed to know, okay, like, naturally, I need someone who's, like...
who can carry the child and, like, survive the birth, because it's, like, a literal thing.
Yeah.
But, like, I think that the waist-to-hip ratio, basically, is, like, a ratio of, like, how small your hips are compared to, like...
your waist?
How waist your...
what the ratio was? Like,
I don't remember. It's, like, 1 to some... I don't know.
1 to 3?
1 to 3. Basically, your hips need to be much bigger than your waist. Because your hips is, like, where the baby's going to be carried. And when you think about it, why are we attracted to, like, freaking hourglass? Yes. Kim K bodies. Like, why is that so... attractive to, like, it's because evolutionary, like, that means that they're fertile, and so men would gravitate to them so that they could carry their children.
Yeah. But you know what's funny though? Because, like, I feel like at least nowadays, like, our our hips kick in when we're like a bit older. Like
Yeah.
at 18, like my hips were not the like.
Really? Mine
No,
not.
I feel like you get that like grown woman weight later. So like
Really?
yeah, like you don't get your grown woman weight in grade 12. I feel like you get it when you're like 25. Like you start really looking like full.
Really? I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like when I hit like 18 was like when I would like I looked the same as I do.
Really?
I stopped growing.
I was like, I look completely different. Like
I don't. Because I feel like no, I look the exact same. If anything, I was skinnier. But
I think
my
you're skinnier.
No,
like,
but my hips were still there.
oh, I
My
was
ass was
like, girl,
fatter.
lucky.
My ass was fatter. back
I'm
then.
a late bloomer.
No, yeah, by 18, and like I haven't grown like one bit. When I tell you nothing's changed, no size changes.
I was gonna
no
say like
feet.
guys going after younger girls, like sometimes. But I mean nowadays, like I mean I think with the food we eat and stuff, like people are hitting puberty earlier, so maybe like
freaking hormones in the
yeah,
milk.
the hormones. So like
That's a side
maybe
topic.
yeah, side
But,
topic. Like
But like, yeah, no. I kind of wonder though, like, because there are men who are into like MILFs.
because yeah, let's think of it that like.
So
think
then I'm
about
like,
that.
what is the evolutionary perspective behind that?
But I think it's because like they already know that you've been a like, you know how to take care of people. You've been a mother.
Really, but evolutionary.
Because remember, the men want to be taken care of.
Ew, not this
Yeah.
topic again.
So I think it's like you've done it before, you can do it again.
No, but like they're attracted to MILFs, like, even if it's just a hookup.
But I don't think during like the caveman era, like I don't think
that
they
existed.
I don't think that existed. I don't think there was
That
like,
that's a new thing.
I think it was like you're my elder.
really, but that evolutionary would make sense that like we'd be attracted to DILFs
Yeah.
because we were attracted to older, like stable. Also, I think financially stable. Like, I feel like I don't even know if we said that, but
I mean, this
financially
is-
stable is what they were looking for evolutionary, like to bring in like food. There wasn't like money.
Maybe
And
this
I
is why
think-
girls have sugar daddy.
No, but I think I think now we're attracted to stability,
Stability, yeah.
and that makes perfect sense now.
Stability, yeah, just financially, also just being like physically,
Yeah, we said that. Yeah.
yeah.
But I definitely think, guys, if you ever think about what you're attracted to, try to think about like evolutionarily, what did that mean? So like, if you're ever trying to be like, why am I attracted to that?
Yeah. But also, again, with the whole, like, women are more choosy and men can be less choosy, like, nowadays, we're not worried about the population. Like,
Yeah.
we don't need to grow the population, like, a super large amount. We're actually overpopulated. So, like, do you think men still have the exact same, like, wiring as they did back then, or do you think, like, over time things have changed?
I do think evolutionarily, like, things do stick.
Because evolution takes a really long time.
Yeah, like evolution took hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years to change. Like, I do think that the younger, like, it is common. Why is it more common that
Men-
mostly women are younger
Not
in
to
a relationship? Like,
yeah.
that's still a thing. I think, like, the hip to waist to hip ratio, why is that still a thing?
That's still yeah.
Like, you know?
But then, like, with that in mind, like, are men being, like, forced against, not forced, but, like, just acting against their natural instincts then, with the way society, at least North American society is?
What do you mean? Like, what's against the evolutionary?
Because their instinct is to have sex with as many people as
Oh.
possible, and we live in a monogamous society, predominantly.
Yeah.
So do you think, like, that's why, like, men cheat a lot? Like, do you think that's a big reason why?
But I feel like evolutionarily, though, we were saying that women were looking for someone to invest.
But men are not. That's what I'm saying.
That's the problem? That's what you're saying. There was a problem
There's
back then. It's a
the
problem
problem
now.
today, yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually, I never thought of that. That would make sense, I guess, because they were, like, spreading their seed, and, like, women wanted them to invest. It's the same fucking thing,
It's
man.
the same. We have the same thing now.
They're like, now we
Okay.
collect, then you were trying to collect food, now you're collecting child support.
It's
It's the same
the
thing.
same thing.
Yeah, basically women were looking for stability. I think that would make a lot of sense. I don't know why, like, stability to me is so attractive.
Well, how could it not be? Like,
But it's not that now we don't even need it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're stable without a man. Just seeing a man financially independent is so attractive. Even though we don't need it anymore. I think it's just evolutionarily.
yeah.